Okay, kit review time again. I seem to do a lot of kit reviews at the moment. Well, not that many, but I fancied this one. It's the, as you can see, it's the Werks Junkers EF-126 LE and EF-127 Wally. Call it a 3-in-1 kit. You can only build one from the contents of this box, but you can build it several ways, which I will show you in a minute. It's 1/32 scale. In actual fact, if you ever go on Scale Mates and look at an item and scroll down and see if it's for sale, you may see Model Bau Koenig. This is to do with them. It is their kit, but they do it under the Werks label. I didn't realise that till recently. Anyway, so I'll just show you around the box quickly. These are some of the options you can do it. You can do it with the rocket powered motors that were like in the ME-163. You can do it with 2 pulse jet motors, or you can do it with 1 pulse jet motor. You can also do it in flight with the landing skid extended, and on the launch trolley, and that looks a horrendous thing. It's a good job this is a what if, and then it's just showing you some of the schemes there. Anyway, I'll show you the box. Nice box art again. I kind of wish that I wouldn't put all the writing on it, because some of them make quite good pictures to put on the wall. Sorry, I've just pushed everything to the edge of my workbench. So we'll go through the instructions first. Everyone I've seen a couple says they love the way there's like a coffee stain or tea stain where somebody put their mug and possibly spilled it, and now it's like a sort of like a top secret thing, and a picture of the model or what the plane would have looked like. There's actually a little story at the front. I won't let you see that for copyright reasons, but it's a good little story, and it is actually available on the Werks website if you want to read it. Sprue trees, only 3 sprues plus transparency. I will show you something here in a minute, and the decals, of course, lots of decals. I'll try and go through those as well. Symbols for what it's supposed to do, but there was one symbol here that I haven't worked out what it means. So you start off, oh, that's another option. You can build it on the factory cradle with or without wings. So that's another way of doing it. That's the factory scene. So you start off building the factory cradle, then the launch cradle. Nice that they got separate hubs on the wheels, makes painting the tyres easy. Then you start off with the cockpit and putting in some decals, showing you. This is a little symbol here that I don't know what it means. I'll show you a quick close-up of that. I haven't worked out what that means. Whether that means dry brush, I don't know. I wonder if it's dry brush because there's no instrument decal and it's raised, so I think it could mean dry brush because it shows like a paintbrush with little lines. I don't know. Then there's 2 options to put in here, one with a spar for the wing if you're building it with the wings, or if you're having it without the wings and you put that piece in. Then it's kind of working through the cockpit assembly, rudder pedals, joystick. I don't know why you've got to trim 2mm from these bumps, whether that's a moulding issue or not, I don't know. Paint call out for the seat. I don't know if this have one of these rudimentary ejector seats like the Salamander, I don't know. Bringing the 2 halves of the forward cockpit together, making up the wings. There's some holes to open out. Again, there's another mat you've got to remove if you're putting the wings on. Then this is it with the skid retracted, and you use the same components plus a few if you want it extended. And then obviously you glue that in place. Notice you still haven't got any rear fuselage parts, and you'll see why in the next couple of pages. Then it had these, try and get this under the camera, the sort of wing skids that I presume dropped off during takeoff. It tended to roll over, and then it had some on the tips obviously for when it landed. It carried 24 missiles, 12 on each side, and also was equipped with 2 machine guns mounted in the nose. Then you got your choose your engine configuration. So you got one pulse jet, two pulse jet, or the 127 version with the Walther rocket motors. Excuse me. You start off with doing the single Argus pulse jet engine. So I think you always use this, for the first two, you use the same body side. Some sort of tail skid, making up this horizontal stabilizers. Then there's the support for the pulse jet engine to go on, and adding the horizontal stabilizers, building the pulse jet and mounting it on there, and then bringing the two halves of the body together. So I hope there's that they align well. It also had kind of solid rocket boosters like JATO rockets, Schmidding rockets. They were called. There's two of those on each side. Then you're making up the dual pulse jet one, so you use the same fuselage halves, make up two pulse jets obviously. Then you got a different tailplane configuration this time, so you fill in these parts here and mount the two on there. And then you make up it's got twin tails, so you make up the components there, add to the fuselage, and again mount them together, add the Schmidding rockets, and then the canopy, etc., and the dolly, takeoff dolly. That looks even worse than one they had on the 163. And then you got the Walther 509C rocket motor, so that's a totally different fuselage half for the back, installing the little outlets for the rocket motors there. Horizontal stabilizers, it's already got the fin moulded in, I believe, didn't really look at that, yes. And bringing them together, and again adding the JATO rockets and the mount on the trolley if you want. Finishing up with the canopy again. So very good. So then you've got about 7 liveries here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yet 7. One found in the production unit, facility, a test unit, factory test markings. Then an unknown unit, well, late 46, it never flew anyway, so they're all made up ones anyway. One's obviously the Russians got their hands on at one point, with a Jumo pulse jet, which I think that was the one that was fitted to the V1. And then you got paint call outs for the colour name, and you got the RAL number, Tamiya, Mr. Hobby H series, Ammo, MiG, Vallejo, Humbrol mission models. So a good selection of paints. This one's even got the for the wooden wings, because it had plywood skinning on the wings. Natural metal finish on there. And another one which I assume is RLMO2, seems a bit of an odd colour for the outside, but remembering that paints were getting scarce during the end of the war, presumably. There's another one, obviously, you can see the rocket packs mounted under the wings there. Quite like that one. This one, if you actually want a full camo version with the twin pulse jets, looks really good. I'll definitely be doing a twin pulse jet, but being a what if, you can make it up whatever you like. And the Russian one. And another full camo one. And then stencil placement for this one. And then a little bit about the people who are with the company and designer and things like that. Onto the plastic. I don't like taking the decals out of the bag, but I'll show you them quickly. Apparently all these little ones here is if you do a natural metal finish, I believe, because I'm going to have to look those out up again, what it exactly said. It said something about it denotes what type of metal or something. I can't find that now. Oh, here we go. German aircraft industry relied on a system of coded stamps to identify aluminium alloys used during manufacture. We've provided a variety of stamps that allow you to add visual interest to any unpainted aluminium surface. So, and then it gives you some examples. So that's what they're all for. I don't know who prints these. Decals drawn by Harman Studios. I don't think it says who actually made them. Again, due to the regulations, you got the swastikas in 2 bits there. That's not really a problem. They look pretty good quality. Transparencies are absolutely crystal clear. You can see that in the bag anyway. And the main canopy one's also got an extra little bit stuck across it. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but they've missed a bit of mine. It overhangs the front, not all the back, but it is crystal clear. Separate bag. That's a good one. Is it a resealable bag? Yes. I hope this is showing up because I haven't got my light on because I know I was going to get a lot of glare. So you've got the front fuselage halves and the rear fuselage halves on this one for the Walther rocket engine. I will actually turn the light on now, so it's probably going to bugger the white balance up. Oh, a bit of flare there, sorry about that. But hopefully it will allow you to see some of the details. Nice fine panel lines, kind of like a, I don't know if you call it a stress skin or whether it's supposed to represent fabric, but it somebody else said it looks a bit regular, but it's still nice. Not many panel lines on the wings because obviously it's a plywood skinned wing. Some of the, I think they're the mounts for the pole strips or possibly the tail planes. I would imagine they're for the twin one. But very nice mouldings indeed, really good. So if you can see the root detail here, I'll turn it over. There's not much interior detail, but on the that's obviously the landing skid, this piece here, very nice. That one on that bag there. That's that bag. Next we'll move on. Okay, so this one's got the other rear fuselage half on it. You can see these mounts are for the JATO bottles. One thing I do like is, I don't know if it will show up, but these actually have a gap in them for the control surfaces, so they're only attached upon along this edge here. We've actually got a gap so it looks like it can move. They're not posable at all. These are the mounts that the rockets go on, the reed valves for the pole strip bodies. I don't know how much was rear detail was on these. There's no rivets or anything, so I just assume that they're possibly all welded construction. The gun ports, but as I say, the whole thing nicely moulded, nice and clean. Well, should be. And even on this, it looks like you've got some sort of stressed skin effects here, where the fuselage is flexing. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. I'll try my best to let you see it. So that's that one. And then this last one, can never find a way in. Okay, this is mainly the JATO bottles. There's also some nozzles somewhere for it that you have to glue in after. These are the nozzles over here. Instrument panel, these are the rocket powered version. Side panels, wheels, what are they called? Struts for the wheels. Seat, these are these things that went under the wings. Bit like the little jockey wheels that drop off on the U2 spy planes, TR1s, whatever they're called now. Body for the launch dolly. The rockets, quite nicely done. Funny tyres, they've got sort of these, they're quite pronounced, these ribs going radially across the tyre. And again, the cockpit rear. And this is the these are the two options if you're doing it without the wings or with the wings mounted, but very nice. very nice. You got the wheel hubs there, so as I say, just paint them black, paint those whatever colour, drop them in, job's done. But I haven't done it with the tail wheel, which is a little bit disappointing. But on the whole, big thumbs up for this kit. I've got a feeling this may even be the next one that I work on. On the funny little propeller thing for the nose, which I think drove a little generator or something, I believe. I think it did on the 163. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review, and yeah, go out and get yourselves one.